Hello, this is Binoy Somen. In the first part of this video, we discussed the differences between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. I hope you have watched the first part and already identified your mindset. If not, please go back to the first part and watch it. Through this second part, I am trying to help you to take the first step in transforming yourself from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. If you already own a growth mindset, then I believe this video will help you to maintain that status. The first step to building a growth mindset is to change our beliefs in some of the core areas of our life. Let's first list those core beliefs. Number 1 is beliefs about success and failures. Number 2, beliefs about judging. Number 3, beliefs about learning. Number 4, beliefs about criticism. Number 5, beliefs about risk. Number 6, beliefs in your ability. Number 7, beliefs in your willpower. And number 8, beliefs about your future. Now let's delve into the details. Number 1, beliefs about success and failure. What's your beliefs about success and failure? If you got any success, do you think that you are enough? When you met with failure, do you think that you are good for nothing? Or do you think that it is temporary and you can fight back? We need to consider success and failure as temporary and believe that each success or failure is building us to meet the next challenge. If we get depressed by failure, we cannot develop a growth mindset. We must think that the lessons learned from each failure will help us to understand different ways in exploring new goals. We usually think that people who succeed always are highly talented. Yes, it may be true, but it doesn't mean that the person who met with failures is talentless. Many of us have these faulty thoughts, and it is a reason why we fear failures. Let's train our mind to accept failures and learn from them as much as we can. For that, whenever you met with a failure, ask yourself, can I learn from that failure? How can I use it as a basis for growth? Number 2, beliefs about judging. Do you have the habit of judging everything that you do? People with fixed mindset do a lot of negative judging. Encourage realistic, positive, and optimistic judgments. It doesn't mean that we should not do self-assessment. We should do. But ensure that we assess ourselves productively. Our judgment shall enable us to take the next step and not to hinder the next step. So, changing the internal monologue from a judging one to a growth-oriented one is quintessential for a growth mindset. Number 3, beliefs about learning. Some people always want to win, but they don't want to learn. Do you think that it's good? How do you act when you feel depressed? Do you work harder at things in your life or do you let them go? Next time you feel depressed, put yourself in a growth mindset. Think about learning, challenge, confronting obstacles. We must be ready to learn anything which is good for us. Every one of us shall be a lifelong student and understand that the learning process doesn't stop at any age. For a growth mindset, we need to think that learning is a continuous process and it will make us more competent. If we want to achieve a goal and don't know how to do it, we should show the temperament to learn that skill to reach our aim. Number 4, beliefs about criticism. Do you fear criticism? Let's learn to accept constructive criticism. Criticism is always useful for finding out our limitations. On the same hand, we can neglect that criticism which only has the intention to harass or make fun of us. Remember that all successful people in the world have faced various criticisms and they all have derived much strength out of it. Let us also drive in that direction. Whenever we face criticism, let's ask to us, how can I learn from this? How can I improve? Number 5, beliefs about risk. Are you a risk-loving or a risk-averse person? We need to change our attitude towards risk. It's foolish to live in a comfort zone. There is no growth in it. The person with a growth mindset is always ready to take some calculated risk. Is there something you have always wanted to do but were afraid you weren't good at? Please make a plan to do it and be ready to take some risk. Number 6, beliefs in your ability. How much belief you have in your ability? We call it as our self-confidence. Some people think that their abilities cannot be improved and it is fixed. They think that they can do things only with a certain amount of skill that they already possess. They are not ready to nurture new skills for new achievements. For a growth mindset, we need to change this belief. We need to acknowledge that we can develop any skill that we want. But we need to invest some effort and time. If you want to grow a growth mindset, you should believe that your ability is not fixed, but it can be developed and improved. Number 7, beliefs in your willpower. The willpower is like a muscle in our body. We need to exercise to improve. We need to think that we have willpower. If you think you don't have willpower, you will never be able to develop it. Without willpower, how will you live up to here? So we all have willpower and we have to challenge ourselves to make it better. Number 8, beliefs in your future. Every one of us wants bright future. But how many of us have a clear picture of our bright future? Do you believe that you can have a good future? If you don't believe, then how can you get it? For a growth mindset, we need to set some specific goals for our future. Think about the person whom you want to become. Think about the position you want to gain. Think about the money you want to earn. Only thoughts can transform into action. Start your first step today by implementing these thought patterns. After practicing these thoughts several times, you can develop yourself as a growth mindset person. As Robert Frost mentioned, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Remember, we all have miles to go before we sleep.